folks, thanks for tuning in. Well, here I am on a beautiful sunny June afternoon in the North Yorkshire moors of England, out for just a gentle bimble around on my Royal Enfield Himalayan 450, which is a fairly new bike to me. It's recently bought about 3 months ago in Portugal, and a few days ago I rode all the way from there to catch the ferry from Rotterdam to Hull. And what I'm going to do in this video is tell you about my thoughts and feelings about the bike. Now I've put it through its road mile test, as it were. It's been a pure asphalt ride, and I'm going to be using this bike for road touring for the foreseeable future, until later in the year, when I'll probably put some different tyres on it and take these metal boxes off and go and play in the dirt with it a bit more. But now this is about my first feelings about it. Having ridden all the distance I've ridden, let's have a quick look on the clock here. Total mileage on the bike now is 3,423 kilometers, and on the trip I've just done, 1,900 kilometers miles I'm talking about now, 1,900 miles of riding through 2 days in Spain, then through across the Pyrenees, then through France, then through Belgium and into Netherlands. That's the ferry at Rotterdam into England. So that's what I've done on it. All did that in 7 days. And how do I feel about it now I've done it? But what I think the best way to do it is do it all as I'm riding. I'll tell you my feelings about each aspect of the bike as I'm riding along. So I'll meet you later in the summary. I'm not a professional rider. This is just me doing my own thing, talking how I talk. I'd call it, first thought that comes to me, it's like a 450cc giant. Yes, that's the word I'm going to use, because it just feels more than it is. First of all, sitting on it, I'm 6'1", 1m85. I weigh 90 kilogram now, because I've lost a lot of weight, which I'm pleased about. But I've been lugging all my luggage, and I've just ridden all the way from the Algarve in the south of Portugal, all the way to Rotterdam in Holland, and then got the ferry across to Hull in Yorkshire. And this little giant has just lugged me and all my stuff. I've got camping gear, but it's just done it so easily. I've sat on motorways, and I've spent a whole day on a motorway getting through the heat of Spain one day, just to get through there before it was scorching. Now, this will sit comfortably, fully loaded, at 120 kph. That's just a little over 70 mile an hour. I found that when you get to 130, it'll do it, but I feel it's starting to stress it a bit more than really you should be. But it just quite happily went on, and it's not missed a beat. We rode everything on that through from there. I rode everything from motorways, major big winding sweeping roads, to small narrow twisties, bumpy back lanes, ridden through howling winds, pouring rain, scorching heat. But every day I just wanted to get back on and just get on with it. For the size of the bike, it was not a big bike. I've come down from a Tiger 900 Rally Pro, tall adventure bike. bit bigger than this, but the ergonomics on this suit me quite well considering my size. I do find my legs get a little bit cramped after a while. But what I was doing, obviously going through villages, I just stand up for a while, and you can stand up, stretch your legs, and riding for an hour or so at a time, an hour or more. I won't go on about the seat because I've made a video about the seat, but the bike itself, apart from that, it's another. I've got two bikes now. I've got my Vosges 300 Rally and then. And I can honestly say they're both, in their own way, a joy to ride. And I've talked on about the Vosges often enough, done it so often. So the frame fits me pretty well. Quite happy to get back on it after a long ride. The suspension, everyone talks about the suspension on this bike. Everyone that does a review talks about the suspension, and all I can say is I agree. The only adjustment is on the rear spring preload. With all the luggage on, I've cranked it up to the maximum. And it's carried me over every surface. I mean, I've not been off-road, and it's just stuck to the road. And I just feel I have such faith in this bike that it goes where you point it and sticks to the road. But I think really the suspension on this bike, the engine is just a gem. For a single of its size, it's amazing. When I watched reviews of it, I got the feeling that it would be like a real lumpy lugger at low speed, but it isn't. But it seems to have two characteristics. At low speed, it just plods along and it ticks over and has that low down grunt, which is just what you want when you're doing off-road. And it's a bit like that until it gets up to about 4,000, but just around the 4,000 mark, just as you're getting there, there's like a little flat spot, and then as it gets over 4, suddenly it changes itself and it turns into a live wire. But there's that little flat spot. And then, after that, it just wants to go. And I can overtake things on this bike quite happily. I've been riding the Vosges for a couple of years as my only bike. And it was like a shock when I could overtake something. It was like, oh my god, I can do that now. And that just makes things a bit more fun. See, in this country, motorcyclists nod to each other. They don't put their hand out and with the two-finger salute like they do in Europe. Look at us, we're now on the North Yorkshire moors. Look at this, beautiful heathers coming out. Wow. Fuel consumption, I'm quite amazed actually. It's averaging, let's go down to trip 2. On this whole trip I've done 1887 miles. It's averaging 84.4 miles per gallon. Now that's pretty impressive if you ask me. Now people talk about the weight because it's not a lightweight, but it's like anything, any heavy motorcycle, you're moving forward, it's got itself balanced out and you don't feel the weight. Going through town, don't feel the weight. I've not taken it off-road on technical stuff, on moderate, on easy stuff. It's not particularly noticeable, the weight, because I think I would notice it more once you start going through more technical single track stuff like that. But most of the time you don't feel it. Now, it is heavy to push around, and it is heavy to lift off its side stand, and you're even getting it up on the centre stand. You don't get the technique quite right, but otherwise I forgive it. And the way I'm looking at it is this is doing everything I want to do on a motorcycle. I'm touring on the road for thousands of miles. I'm enjoying it. I'm doing it economically. What more do you want? It doesn't have all the creature comforts I had on high-tech bikes I've had in the past. And to be honest, do I miss them? Well, it's summer, so I don't miss the heated grips, which I will have some installed. Do I miss cruise control? No. I mean, how often did I ever use cruise control, really? It's just hardly ever. The brakes are very effective. Total confidence in this bike as an all-rounder. But the clutch is a beautiful clutch. It's nice and light, progressive, no snatch, and easy on the fingers there. I generally ride using 2 fingers on the clutch. Quite easy with one. The gear change is just super slick. Very easily engages up and down. The accelerator, the throttle, I just find it super smooth, very progressive. Never once has it felt like it's trying to throw me off the back of the bike, and it just works really well at low speed. And that engine is just so flexible. And then when you get up there, 4,500, that's when it wants to play. I like the dials, the speedo. It's electronic, but it's got the old retro look, analog look to it. And, plenty of options to choose from. There's a couple of niggles about it, but I think the indicator lights are a bit small. Other than that, very clear. I've got it set to automatic light conditions. It changes. The windscreen, I've got the touring windscreen, and well, whatever they call it, adventure windscreen. It's the original, the small little round thing was basically doing very little at all. So if you want to go any distance at speed, it'd be like riding a naked bike. But this one is reasonably effective. I mean, it's not a big adventure bike windscreen, it's not adjustable, but it takes the majority of the wind off the chest. I mean, you notice the difference when you stand up and you feel it right in the chest, so it definitely is working. The shape of the fuel tank itself seems to take a lot of it off my legs, but not all of it. So it's considering it doesn't have a fairing, it's a reasonable amount of protection. You notice it on strong winds, motorways, that it isn't a big adventure bike, and it isn't one anyway, so There we are. It's just a really lovely to ride, confidence inspiring all-rounder. I never imagined that I would be able to tour like this on this bike. The biggest issue I've had with this bike has been the seat, and I've made a couple of videos. Can't believe I'm making videos about seats, but anyway, I've done this long trip. I'm still on it, and found that the cushion I'd bought to fit on top of the rally seat was really not the ideal, and so now I've invested in an air cushion, an Air Hawk 2 air cushion, and honestly it's been on just a few days now and a couple of short rides, but it's really made a big difference. That is now what I'd call comfortable touring seat. I've had to go to quite some length to do it, but I knew this bike had such potential that I had to find a solution for the seat. I wasn't going to let that stop me enjoying it, and now I am enjoying it. And the other thing, of course, everyone talks about here on this bike is this ridiculous short side stand which leans over at a great angle, but I've fitted the Himalayan accessory, which is call it a hoof, this club foot on the end of the stand. It lifts it about an inch, and it makes quite a difference actually, just enough to make it less heavy to lift off the stand and not lean as far over. So that's the thing. And I did mention about the instruments, the indicator lights being small. So how long does it take to make a video? Well, I started this video when I was in Yorkshire. I was over a week ago, and now I'm in Perthshire in Scotland, and yeah, that's how long it's taking. Anyway, this is the summary. Is it goodbye Himalayan, or was it a goodbye? And I think you know the answer to that. Apart from the couple of issues I've mentioned, and they've been resolved for now, quite happily, I'm really glad I bought this bike. It's definitely been a good buy. I'm enjoying touring on it, and yeah, it's a keeper. And so that's the answer. Thank you for watching, and may you all live long and ride on.